Welcome back to BVarsity Live. Zach Ewing and Trevor Horn here in our downtown Californian studios. Having a visit here with the Frontier Wrestling team. Coach Kirk Moore's on the end. And then we've got sophomore, right? Yep. Trent Tracy and senior Marco Hernandez, 145 pounds, 138 pounds. And from what I hear, actually close to that weight a day before the Masters, which is good news for you guys. Or close to 147 and 140 where you have to be.
Get a haircut.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, you could drop a pound that way. That's true.
Yeah.
You could follow Coach Moore there. Have his hairstyle.
Well, every time that he and Devontae wrestle, I want to know how many pounds of hair are on that mat at that given time because they both have huge haircuts right now.
Yeah, that's terrific. Yeah,
that's quite something.
It's. He said because Mom always said if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all, right?
He's just jealous.
And Kurt's just he's just jealous.
I'm sure.
The Masters start tomorrow for the first time. This is a 2-day tournament. In the past, it's always been a 1-day tournament. And Coach, some folks around the state, as good as the wrestling is in the Central section, have said that's an unfair advantage for the Central section. They don't have to wrestle a 2-day tournament the week before state. Where do you come down on that? I mean, is the advantage gone or what?
I don't know if the advantage is gone. It's definitely it works to our advantage. I mean, anytime you can get into the postseason and you can eliminate one more weigh-in and you can eliminate a couple of matches that you don't necessarily need, it's always going to be beneficial to you. But what these other sections don't realize is these kids, when they wrestle 5 matches on one day, it's against the number 1 guy in the state, the number 6 guy in the state, the number 13 guy in the state. So, I mean...
And that's not just this week.
Yeah,
that's
last week.
That's
and
the week before.
So
that's every other week in league. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the grind of the Central section, any school that wants to, they're more than welcome to come and play with it. It's not very fun.
Yeah, no, and especially that tournament last week isn't. And I want to zero in on that because it was a big weekend for you guys. Out of I think there were 46 teams there. You finished 4th, but maybe more important, you finished ahead of Bakersfield High, which they were 5th, and that's the first time that's happened. And for a growing program, Kirk, to do that is a major step for you guys.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think if you guys look at both of these wrestlers right here, I think what kind of came down to was bonus points. Mm-hmm. And both of these guys ended up getting a lot of pins. And, that extra 2 points in a bracket, you multiply that by 5 or 6 matches, all of a sudden that's another wrestler. Marco being seated 8th and then coming away with 5th. I mean, he wrestled some really gritty matches there. 3-1, OT, double OT. I mean, so it just kind of all fell into place, and it was exciting. It was fun to be part of. But again, we're back to square one right now, and we got 9 guys, and we got to get all 9 through. Doesn't matter what we did last week.
Yeah, I think that the main emphasis this time of year is the individual, unless you feel like you're in the running for a team championship, which if in this section, you better be the number 1 team in the nation if you're going to be in the running for team championship. So the point is, anyway, but Marco, Coach mentioned you went from the 8th seed to finishing 5th. Big reason why your team wins the championship. You're just trying to get through to the Masters, first and foremost. But what's your mentality as far as, hey, I'm going to try to help the team too?
Well, my mentality was just wrestling how they tell me to wrestle, just stay in position and just go forward. And that's what I did, and that's what I think separated me from being seated 8th and being 5th, just wrestling through all 6 minutes of every match and just staying there.
And Trent, as a sophomore, this is only the second time you've been kind of through this grind. How was it different for you this year than your freshman year?
Oh, well, my freshman year, I was more unexperienced of just how to get through, and this year I was definitely more focused and worked harder and just kind of figured out the process more what you need to do. That
Yosemite Divisional is one of the tougher, deeper tournaments in the country, really. When you look at the quality of nationally ranked guys in every single weight class, and then just the depth below that, the format may change from what we've heard, and that's especially it's going to have to change in 2 years when the coastal schools come into the Central section. When you have a Morro Bay and a San Luis Obispo, and all those schools come in. How would you like to see it change, Coach? What would you do if you were in charge of this?
Yeah, if I was in charge, I'd do a lot of different things for wrestling. But I think what most coaches and league reps are looking at right now is how do we eliminate unnecessary matches on the way to the state meet. There's a proposal to break it down into areas, and I think a lot of coaches are more into divisions, very similar to what they do in basketball and football. Maybe break our section into 6 sections, maybe be able to crown 6 different Valley champions, and then be able to have one large master tournament 2 weeks before the state tournament where we come together. Anybody who feels like they want to wrestle, they show up, and the top 10 make it to the state meet. That would give us a weekend off before the state tournament, which I think would be very beneficial, very similar to what they do in college. But again, it's all going to go to the central section and what they want to do. Hopefully they'll listen to our voice. I just think anytime you can make wrestling more fun and save your body and allow you to train more for the tournament, it's going to be better. And it'll be interesting adding those schools from the coast onto here. Hopefully it'll be able to be a format where they can kind of just generally come in. That's the interesting thing. The Valley tournament this year and the Masters tournament, this is only a 1-year thing. And we got to go back this year and we got to redo it. Yep. And so hopefully we don't have to redo it the following year. Hopefully we can put a format that all schools can kind of just go into. I'd love to see a Liberty or a Centennial or a Foothill win a Valley title, even a McFarland. I mean, we're trying to get into, like you said, the number 1 team or number 2 team in the nation and the number 6 team in the nation. It's going to be hard to win a Valley title.
Nobody wins except they.
Yeah. And for other schools like Bakersfield and us, we're trying to get there. But without a doubt, just the popularity of wrestling, the more champions that you crown, the more popular your sport becomes.
Both of you guys have some nationally ranked guys in your weight class. So barring the performance of your life, you're probably not winning a championship this weekend. What is your focus to get in? Are you worried about where you place so that you can get a better place in the bracket at state? I mean, what Marco, start with you. What's your mentality going into this weekend?
I haven't really looked at the formula going into this week or the state meet. My focus is just getting through and placing what best that I could place so I could help my team out in the long run, and it's just mainly focus and getting through.
Just place high enough to get that golden ticket to Rabobank in next week. Trent, how about you? Same thing, or are you more of a look at the bracket guy and see who you have?
Yeah, no, it's pretty much the same thing. Just the main focus is to get through to state, and that's it.
Some of your guys' teammates have really stepped up. I know Jaden Abbas, just a state caliber wrestler. He moved to San Diego. You guys lose him before the year. Marco, what'd that do to the team as far as, did other guys say, I got to step up now? We have to step up as a team now if we're not going to have kind of that guy we know is going to place in every single tournament?
Well, yeah, the mentality changed, but not really that much. The focus and the goals were still the same. It's just, Elijah stepped it up. Mm-hmm. Jonathan stepped it up, and everyone was just like, of course, they want to be Frontier's first state champion. So they're trying to step it up as much as they can to be the Frontier's first state champion.
Trent, you were same class as Jaden. How did that affect you guys, and what was your response to it?
It was a big loss, but I think we all kind of, we took it in and realized, all right, to fill in the gap, we all have to step up and outperform how we're supposed to, and we have so far. We've been doing good.
And Coach, for you can't control who comes or who goes necessarily, but it was interesting to me. You mentioned Foothill or Centennial or McFarland winning a Valley title. You didn't necessarily mention you guys in that because I feel like your goals are not 4th place. You would like to eventually go and compete with the Buchanans and the Clovis.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, and it's not to take anything away from other schools, but we're kind of hopefully at the point where we're looking forward and saying Valley is just one of the steps. I mean, if you look at Buchanan, you look at Clovis, that's just one of their check marks. It's just part of their season. They go and compete at the Valley tournament. Their season is always national and state titles. And so hopefully we're in that conversation now as far as what does the next 5 years look like? What does the next 10 years look like? And I think we got a great coaching staff. We got a great junior program. We got kids that are coming in, and we need to refine and we need to keep pushing the envelope, because if we just settle for what we've done, we won't get there. And so without a doubt, we want to be the best, and I think we got things in place that, if things come together, there are things out of your control like Jaden leaving. That's just one of the things you can't control. But if everything falls in place, good things are going to happen. So it's an exciting time right now.
Yeah. Well, and it's exciting, too, when you look at the top 4 programs in the Valley. You take Selma out of the equation, but, you're in your 30s. You wrestled in the 90s. Adam is, a year older than me, so he's 38, 39. Andy's maybe 40 at this point right now, and Troy Terrapelli, his brother
He's
over
the
at
baby.
Buchanan, he's the baby of them all. I mean, so you guys are all in, Andy being the oldest one at maybe 40, 41 at the most, I think, at this point. I mean, you guys are all young coaches. I mean, this whole rivalry, this tradition is going to keep going for a while. You got to think, right, Kurt, unless you want to retire and just hunt all year long.
Yeah, if I can
Don't
hunt all
tempt
year
him,
long,
yeah.
there we go.
It's not
But-
deer season right
but
now.
no, it's not deer season. But yeah, there's a lot of young coaching. If you guys look at the assistant coaches, they're all young. I mean, and a lot of them are D1 athletes.
Yep.
And the central section, and it's going to get tougher because with Fresno State coming back, you're going to have a whole group of young college guys coming out that are going to go right back into the coaching ranks. So it's not going to get any easier. And again, a great rivalries, you need to have, we challenge each other. You look at Adam and you look at Troy, you look at Andy. We're competitive against each other. I mean, we get fired up, and if we could, we.
Oh, you were fired up Saturday.
Yeah, that was
when Jonathan won.
Yeah, that was 10 years of stuff built up. So that was good. I was glad for Jonathan. He's one of the first kids I ever coached, and this kid started literally his first state tournament. He was hiding in the bleachers, and I had to drag him out, and he ran right back in, and he would not come out. And I literally said, "Can you just go forfeit real quick?" No, I'm not coming out. So for a kid to come from that to winning a Valley title is just a great feeling. So without a doubt.
Guys, how much pride do you – I mean, Coach is talking about 10 years and everything. Obviously, you guys have not been the high school program that long. I'm not sure about the youth programs, but how much pride do you take in frontier wrestling versus just Marco Hernandez or Trent Tracy wrestling?
Well, I think it's built a lot over the years, and it's just going to keep building and building. They have their kids program is really – they have a lot of tough kids in there, and it's just going to get better. So I think in the future they're going to be one of the top teams for
Trent?
sure.
Yeah, just wrestling for the team and the program, it means a lot because they've done a lot for us, all of us over the years. So it's more, you wrestle a lot for the team and try and give back more rather than wrestling for yourself.
Before I let you guys go, wrestling is a little bit of a niche sport where if you're into it, you're really into it. If you're not, you don't know a whole lot about it. So for people who may be watching, don't know a lot about wrestling, what's your sales pitch for why wrestling is a good sport to watch and to participate in?
I think it's a really good sport to watch because it's just either they're gonna crush my dreams or I'm gonna crush their dreams. It's just tough. It's just you're just banging for 6 minutes. It's just I don't know how to explain it. It's really different from all these other sports.
There's no excuses if you lose.
No, I
It's
think
on
you just
you.
explained
it's
it
a-
perfectly.
Yeah.
It's all on you.
That was nice.
Trent, try to top that.
Well, it's good to watch because the action's always happening. There's no dual moment in the whole match, and I mean, other than other sports, there is some breaks, but in wrestling, it's constantly moving.
Except for blood time.
Yeah, except for blood time.
Nobody likes a lot of blood time.
No.
Kirk, how about you? Wrap it up for us.
I think the great thing about wrestling is that it's, in sports in general, but true for wrestling, it's always going to reveal your true character. It's going to show who you are. Whether you're winning, whether you're losing, whether it's a close match, whatever it is, whoever you truly are inside, wrestling will bring it out. It will reveal who you are. So, again, if you guys are parents out there and you're trying to get your kids to do something, I would suggest put them in wrestling. They're going to find out, without a doubt, this is what my kid is made of.
You mean like this one's already done?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
found out I wasn't very good at it, but other than that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is a revealer. It's a true
No,
character
I was talking
test.
about Thomas.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about me. Yeah,
no, I was talking about you taking
Yeah,
Thomas.
he's
out
still
of our-
Thomas still a work in progress. That's okay.
Yeah.
He's
And the great thing about it is this sport, you can never tell who's going to be good. I've had so many kids that we thought were going to be great, and they just disappeared when it got tough. And the kids who you thought, they're not much.
there are some scrawny-looking state champions out there.
And
There
all
really
of a sudden,
are.
when push comes to shove and you got to dig deep, it's those kids that you didn't think, I don't think they could do it. They become the greatest wrestlers. So, without
All
a
right.
doubt.
Well, thank you guys, and good luck this weekend to you, and next week at State as well.
Thank you.
Kirk Moore, Trent Tracy, and Marco Hernandez of Frontier Wrestling. We'll be back after this on BVarsity Live.